Slayer! Hi, I'm Tom, and if you're new to Warhammer, then this video is for you. I'll show you how to build your very first Warhammer model. But the skills in this video can be used to build any model at all. It doesn't have to be Warhammer. And if you have any questions at all, please don't be scared to ask in the comments below. I will answer every single one of them. There are no stupid questions, because we were all new once. And for the veteran viewers out there, you might learn something in this video too.
Before playing Warhammer, you need to build and hopefully paint your models. Building is one of my favourite parts of the hobby, as this is where you get to choose what they look like. You get to choose their poses, their loadouts of gear, and it also gives you an opportunity to make them look unique and decide on a story for them. It can also give you the mind space and time to help you pick a paint scheme.
Another huge bonus of builder models is that it can be very relaxing and calming if you embrace the process and take your time. There's no rush. I often build models in silence and just let my mind wander. It's a perfect opportunity to catch up on podcasts, or I'll have a TV show on in the background.
So your model kit will come in lots of parts. Those parts are attached to what is called a sprue. When the model is made, it is formed on a machine that injects plastic into a mould. The sprue supports the model kit on it and also provides number guides of where the pieces are. The sprue helps to protect the model as well. The first thing you need is a clear workspace. This is important because some of the parts are small and can easily be lost on a messy desk. Also, some bits of sprue may come flying off at speed, so be mindful of where you set up to do your building.
I'd advise against doing this anywhere near babies, small children or pets for this exact reason.
And I'd also advise wearing an apron or clothes that you don't mind getting dirty. Or even just put an old towel over your lap, because by the end of building a full kit of miniatures, you will likely be covered in dust and some glue. Then, what tools do you need? It will be absolutely impossible to build anything correctly without a hobby knife, a pair of clippers, and some plastic glue. I'll cover glue in more depth later on. Games Workshop, aka the Warhammer shop, sell all of these items, but in my opinion, they're at a massively inflated price. I'd advise getting something like this starter kit off Amazon. There's a link to this below.
This kit has literally every single tool you will need apart from glue, and it will last you a very long time.
Other optional tools I'd advise you get would be a pin vise, aka a tiny drill, which can be used to drill out the barrels of your guns to make them look more realistic, and can also be used to imitate battle damage, and it can also be used to pin the models to bases. A cutting mat is a good idea as well, as it protects your desktop from paint, from glue, and from sharp blades. Sanding sponges or nail files are worth it too. They also come in that kit that I just mentioned, but ensure you have a very fine grit, otherwise you'll scratch your models. The files are used to smooth any glue residue, any mould lines, and also to file away sprue connections. These areas will stick out like a sore thumb if they aren't removed before painting. Right, onto the knife. This is the most used hobby tool. They are very affordable. I got this set in Poundland for maybe £2. It's used to remove mould lines and sprue connections, and to remove material when doing extensive changes to your models. It's important to replace the blades on them once they go blunt. If you use a blunt blade, it actually makes them more dangerous. That sounds illogical, but a blunt blade won't cut as easy, meaning you will end up applying more force to it, and then when it finally cuts through the model, it will come through at a greater speed and pressure. So a sharper knife is actually safer. Most injuries I've had building models have been from blunt blades. Injuries which include, I've cut all the way through the top of my finger and through my nail before. You could theoretically use your knife to remove parts from the sprue, but this will quickly blunt the knife, and it could cause damage to the models. That's why clippers are the next essential item. With very little effort, these safely shear the plastic apart, making it easy to remove the bits you need from the sprues. The knife is then used to remove the excess sprue from the model parts. Some companies charge obscene prices for clippers, but in my experience, expensive ones still go blunt eventually. I bought 10 of these off Amazon for around £15, and it will probably last me my entire life. And here's a pair of old Games Workshop clippers. As you can see in a side-by-side comparison, they're pretty much exactly the same. Then on to glue. I use Tamiya extra thin cement. You can get 2 of these on Amazon for £15. Unlike the Games Workshop glue, this actually dries very quickly. In my experience, the Games Workshop glue takes absolutely ages to dry. You can even see this in some of their on-demand videos on Warhammer Plus, like Scrap Demon, where they're holding pieces together for ages, just hoping that they don't fall apart. I like this glue as well because it comes with a brush applicator. If you apply too much, you can remove the excess. You can also control where the glue goes onto the model. Another alternative would be this Revel contactor glue. It has a metal applicator tip which very regularly gets full of glue, which dries and then blocks the applicator. One tip to empty this: you can burn it with a lighter and it will burn all the glue from inside, clearing the blockage. But remove the applicator from the glue before you do this, as plastic glue releases fumes, and I wouldn't hold it with your fingers either. The reason we use plastic glue instead of super glue, it slightly dissolves the surface of where you apply it. This means when you push 2 parts together, it makes a perfect seam between the 2 of them, and when it dries, it fuses them together. You've basically made 2 pieces of plastic into 1 piece of plastic.
Also of note, if you're building a kit made from resin, you would have to use super glue to put it together, and same for metal kits. And if you're putting resin or metal onto plastic, you have to use super glue as well. And if you're not sure if it's a plastic kit, just apply a little bit of the plastic glue to the sprue and see if it melts or not.
Let's get on with building your first model. In this video, I'm going to build one of these Space Marines. This is from an easy build kit, so specifically designed for starters. With every model kit, you'll have instructions. Here we have 3 sets of pictures with numbers. Just see them as stages. So stage 1, I need these 3 bits. Stage 2 and stage 3. Do them a stage at a time. Before going ahead and cutting parts of the model, just take a second, take your time and have a look and see what bit is sprue and what bit is model. Also, what we're going to do, we're not going to cut close to the model. We're going to cut away bits of the sprue and then remove it from the model once it's off the frame. You can see here the sprues have small contact points with the model, and if you shear too closely, like I'm doing here on purpose, it snaps away from the model under pressure and also cuts a divot into the design of the model. And you can see here it's actually done it with such force it's broken the top half of the model off of the sprue as well, and will leave a divot in the model. So this is a very easy way of damaging your models before you've even built them. If you had a delicate part and you did this, you could potentially snap it in half as well. So what we actually do is cut away large bits of the sprue, remove the model part from the frame, and here we've got the model part with some bits of sprue attached to it. Once it's off the frame and not under any pressure, I can remove the excess pieces using the clippers or a knife. There we go. Then onto mold lines. Here you can see the mold line. So this is where the 2 pieces of mold stuck together and the plastic was injected into it. The sprue follows that line. Here is a demonstration. So imagine this bit of my knife here is the sprue and my thumb is the model part. I want to cut it as close to my thumb as possible. We then use a sponge to sand down to the model part. This will go around the entire circumference of the model. And what we do, we get our sharp knife. You can either use the back of the knife, which is blunt, hold it at an angle and scratch away the mold line. This is, I'm being very gentle here as well, there's not much pressure on it. What I do is I use the sharp side of the knife. I hold it at an angle, 45-degree angle to the model, and gently scratch away. And I'm pulling the knife towards me 45 degrees. And I'm pulling it gently towards me until the mold line is removed. There you go, it's disappeared. You see there's some very light scratch marks, but once this model's primed before we paint it, these scratch marks will be gone. So I follow the model around in a circle, remove all the mold lines, and also the little nubbins of sprue, which we've got here. So very, very gently I'm pulling it towards me, controlling the pressure with my thumb. This isn't essential, but this is where I then use a sanding sponge or a file. I like using the sanding sponges because they're soft and flexible and they bend to the curves of the model. So run over the top and it gets rid of all those scuff marks and it has a very, very smooth surface. So you follow the same process all the way around all of the model parts. There you go, 30 seconds work, we've got 1 piece done. Bibbidi bobbidi boo indeed. Get all the mold lines removed from the other bits and then on to gluing. Not yet. Dry fitting the model. So what we're going to do is build the model without glue. It's as simple as that. The instructions here show the parts go together. the head needs to go at this angle, and the front plate needs to go onto the back plate. This is what's called a push fit model. So the two studs inside the front plate go into the two holes on the back plate. In my experience, these studs are rubbish. Sometimes there's dust inside the holes and it doesn't go together enough. Sometimes the studs are too long or they're bent. Basically, numerous reasons that will mean that the parts don't go together properly, which will mean there'll be a huge gap along the side of the model. So simply, every single time I remove the studs, I then do a dry fit and see if the model goes together properly. There you go, it's much better on the top half. And then at the bottom half, it has these sort of weird strut things as well. I'm going to remove those as well. In normal model kits, it doesn't always have these studs, but it's quite common in Games Workshop models. So there, I push the model together and it shows that it's basically a flush fit. So once I'm happy with that, I then start applying glue. These flat areas are what's going to stick to the front plate, and this is the area I'm going to aim for with my glue. I'm going to first attach the helmet, so I'm putting a bit of glue in the hole where the helmet's going to sit. I place the helmet in and then I push it into place. And just be careful when you're building models that you don't touch any of the glue areas. I'm doing this here on purpose to show you. It melts the plastic, you then touch it, it takes away strands of glue and leaves marks all over the model. Just take your time, make sure you've put it in properly. There you go, that's the head in place. And what I do, because this glue is so thin, I dab it into the recesses, into the holes that are left behind here. And now I'm applying it to all the flat areas, so I'm ready to attach the front plate to the back plate. Less is more when it comes to the glue. If you apply too much, then when you push the pieces together, glue will splurge out of the gaps and potentially go all over your fingers, and it can ruin some of the detail on the model. Put the glue on, push it together, hold it together for a few seconds, and make sure that the two plates are stuck together. There you go. And then what you can do afterwards, this is why I like this glue, you can apply it to any cracks and it will fill in the holes a little bit and dry and make the area a little bit smoother. But that will do for our first model. And then here I'm going to demonstrate what happens if you touch plastic glue that's on a model. So the glue will start melting the plastic here. I'm just going to put my finger on it. You can see here it has left my fingerprint in the glue and smeared the glue. It's like beading up into a little ball. That's why I need to be careful when you're gluing the models together that you don't touch any of the glue. If you do make a mistake like this, the best thing to do is just not panic. I've intentionally damaged the Space Marine now on its leg just to show you how to fix this. Put glue on it, I've stuck my fingerprint on the model and it's got a rough texture. So all you need to do to fix this is let the model dry completely and then get your fine grit sanding sponge or file and smooth down the surface layer. You don't want to remove too much material, just get rid of the glue. Literally 10 seconds work and it's back to normal. It may look scuffed and damaged, but once you've painted over this with primer, you won't be able to see that it was damaged at all. Now we're going to build the rest of the model. Most kits have numerous build options. This includes different weapons, head choices, shoulder pads, backpacks, sort of attachments, grenades, things that you can stick onto the models. And this is where you can use your imagination and choice. If you're new to Warhammer, I would advise you to just go with the rule of cool. What looks awesome? What looks badass? In the competitive game, there'll inevitably be meta choices of what are the best, most efficient weapon loadouts. If you're not planning on playing in tournaments and you're just going to be playing with your friends, it really doesn't matter. You can either magnetize models, that's what a lot of people do, but if you're new to it, I would just advise you to build what you think is cool. And the same goes for the paint scheme. The reason I'm talking about paint now, from this moment onward, any more bits that you add to the model, it will make it harder to paint. So what I advise you do is at this point stop and think, if I stick this on, will it make it harder for me to reach other parts of the model and paint them? So for this model in particular, I would advise leaving the backpack off and building the rest of the model, adding the weapons to it, the holster and the pouches. This is called building it in sub-assemblies. So keep all the backpacks separate, build all the bodies, the heads and the weapons, and that will give you access to the back of the model. and into the armpits and the shoulder pads. You can then glue the backpack on after it's painted with some super glue. The reason you use super glue, if you use plastic glue on paint, it will melt it. This model comes with a sculpted base, but most model kits come with black untextured bases that you stick the models to. Another pro tip, if you're sticking your models to the bases, I advise you stick 1 foot with super glue. This way, when you want to do the bases and paint them, you can snap the model off the base. The super glue will not melt the plastic to the plastic base, and then you can glue it with super glue once the base is painted. And there you go, that's the model built. All in all, this will take you about 5 or 10 minutes per model. But like I said, the most important thing is to take your time. Don't rush yourself, relax and enjoy the moment.
And there you go. This is the first in a series of beginner-friendly videos, so let me know what you think of it in the comments. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you have any questions at all, please don't be scared to ask, I will answer them. And let me know if there's anything in particular you want me to cover in the next video. I intend to do a quick guide on all the different types of paints and paintbrushes that there are, even airbrushes, how they work, how to clean them, how to base your models. And if you like this video, check out my other videos. I love painting entire armies all at the same time. And if you want to support me further, please subscribe and also check out my affiliate links below to all of the items that were in the video. I also have a Patreon where you can get access to my Discord server and see me behind the scenes creating all these marvellous little things.
And thank you to my Patreon supporters, you're absolute legends. Particular thanks to my latest Patreon supporters, Ghost086, Hellseer, and the Human Grasp. Hail to you, champions.
And thanks for watching. Bye.